welcome to all of our guests. We've got another great crowd here for Monday Marketing Mastermind. And so I'm very excited about that. And just glad to have you all here, and glad that we have so many people who haven't just packed it in for the year, that are still actively looking to add opportunities to their pipeline, etc. I always start this off with a quote or some piece of mindset material. And so this is from Jim Rohn. He's a frequent flyer here for those sessions. Be strong, but not rude. Be kind, but not weak. Be bold, but not bully. Be humble, but not timid. Be proud, but not arrogant. Good reminders. Good reminders. Our topic today is retargeting. Retargeting. And the reason why that is our topic today is we've had several folks. I had posted in one of my Facebook groups, and this was a topic that showed up repeatedly as something that was of interest to folks in our industry. And obviously it's of interest to at least some of you, because we've got a great crowd here today. So first and foremost, I would like to see a show of hands, either, like if you're on screen like this, or you can raise your hand or even put in the chat. How many of you have bought something thanks to retargeting? And if you don't know what that is, that's when you go to Amazon and you look at something to purchase and you don't buy it for whatever reason. And then you're on Facebook or you're on Google, Googling something, or you're even on Instagram, and somehow or another, that very same thing is there back in your face, and they're reminding you, hey, that thing that you were interested in, maybe you should go ahead and buy that, right? And we're seeing an overwhelming amount of folks. And when I used to talk about, retargeting probably 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago, at that point, it was like, what is this idea? This is foreign. This is crazy. But now it's much more mainstream. And that's a big reason why we're going to dig into it today. So I've got a document that's going to lead our discussion here. Pete. For those of you who don't see the chat, Pete says, I have about $1 million worth of stuff in my save for later cart. Yeah, no kidding. So it'll lead our discussion today, but please, this is an open mastermind. So don't hesitate to raise your hand, chime in. Folks in my organization, if I get on a tangent, but there's something in the chat that I'm missing, stop me and let's revisit. And also the document and the additional recommended resources, etc. If you'd like access to those after our time here today, just get back to whoever invited you, and they will be happy to share with you. So I'm going to share my screen. Whoops. Where is it? There it is. So when we're talking about retargeting specifically for us in the real estate industry, I think there are 4 places that are, premium, and a 5th that's a maybe, who knows? And we'll see if the 5th one's even around for how much longer. I don't know. Seems to be a little bit of a mess right now. But the 4 that I would say that I've got a lot of experience from, and I think are great ways for you to create a sense of omnipresence in your market. In other words, when you do these things correctly, what happens is you're recognized at the grocery store, you're recognized at your high school or your school events, sporting events, or chorus events, things of that nature, where people immediately associate you with real estate. Okay, and that's what you want. And the way I think about, or one of the ways I think about retargeting, is it's an insurance policy against your past clients, your sphere of influence, and your current database forgetting that you can help them with their real estate needs. It's insurance against them going and working with the listing agent on a property that they're interested in, or or, just forgetting about you and I don't know, Googling for an agent or something like that. Okay. So it's an affordable insurance policy for your business, because you can get a significant amount of reach for $1 to $3 to $5 per day on these different platforms. And Angie, I don't want to miss you. Do you have your hand up for something now, or was that when we were asking about retargeting? Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. Yep. Okay, so the platforms that I think are, no-brainers and should be included are Facebook and Instagram. And the nice thing is those two you can do in one ads manager place, okay? You can manage them in the same place. The third one is YouTube. You can, and I think should, be placing retargeting video ads as pre-roll ads on YouTube. In other words, someone who is a past client or in your sphere of influence or in your database, or someone who has engaged with your content or even visited your website sometime over the last year or even 2 years, they go to look at a YouTube video and they see a video, a short little video from me or from Matt or from whoever that person was, reminding them, hey, if and when the time comes, if you need to buy or sell real estate, let's chat. We can help. The fourth is Google display ads. What I'm talking about here is with Google display ads, you can show up, and I have examples of all of these that we're going to get into here. Okay, so we're just talking big picture, and then we'll sort of drill down and give you real world examples. But what you can do with Google is, if someone who has they've either opted in, they've registered on your search site, or they've just visited your website, and then they go and Google for whatever, or they go to, I don't know, where I don't really go to these places, but they go to your local online newspaper, and you can show up as a banner ad when they do that. And that can have a very dramatic impact on your past clients and future potential clients. When they see you, when they're looking on whatever, I mean, and you can show up on Walmart.com and on, Target.com. I mean, you can show up on very prominent places, which positions you as a market expert, someone who's serious about the business. And again, I'm going to give, I'll show you examples of this. And the fifth one I have on here is Twitter. You can set yourself up so that you can retarget your database and past clients and people visiting your website on Twitter. That one to me is like, I don't know. That one's not that's more of an afterthought, but it's possible, I guess. So that's why I'm including it. Now, how you need to do this, there's some work you have to do up front in order to be able to retarget. Okay. At least on certain platforms and in certain ways. Okay. So for example, Facebook has what they call a pixel, which is just a little script or code that you have to add to your website or websites, such that when people visit that, Facebook and Instagram will then put them into a bucket, for lack of a better term, that you can then put ads or videos or whatever back in front of them. Okay. Facebook calls it a pixel. Google calls it a tag. I believe Twitter also calls it a tag. And again, in every scenario, it's just a little bit of code that you typically have to put into the header of your website or websites, which your website admin can help you with. Or this is the kind of thing that we often help or do for folks in our organization, which is something, if that's something you're interested in, just get back to whoever invited you. Okay, so there's some work you have to do up front. The exception to that is if you have an existing database, you can export that data and you can import it to Facebook as a custom audience, and then you can target just that custom audience. That will only work on Facebook and Instagram. For YouTube and Google, you have to do certain things, and you have to build it before you can then retarget to those folks. Okay, better to start now. Best would have been starting to build these audiences a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. But as that the old proverb says, right, the next best time to plant a tree is today, right? So get started with this today if you haven't already. There are some resources that make retargeting a little bit easier if you're going to do it yourself, specifically only applicable on Facebook and Instagram, but useful nonetheless. Number one is Street Text. They've got a free 7-day trial at growwithjosh.com/ST. That's my affiliate link. You can certainly go directly to them, or you can get back to whoever invited you, and they may have an affiliate link for that. In either scenario, or in any scenario, it's a 7-day free trial, and then you have to pay for their platform beyond that, and you have to pay for the ads. And retargeting is an add-on that they've recently added to their platform, and they've made it very easy and as simple as possible to have that retargeting functionality. The other resource that I'll mention here is Listings to Leads. Listings to Leads. You can get a free 21-day trial at growwithjosh.com/L2L. L, the number 2L. growwithjosh.com/L2L. You can do retargeting with their platform, and they've also got some, they've got the functionality to create the retargeting ads, but they also have some great retargeting content that makes it a lot easier as well. And I'll dive a little bit deeper into that once we get into some of the examples. Now, the different kinds of audience buckets, I call them audience buckets, you can call them whatever you want, that you can build out, and these are most specifically on Facebook and Instagram, are number one, your existing database. I've kind of already mentioned that. And you would upload that into the audience manager on Facebook. Number two is if you have a Facebook business page, you can build an audience of anyone who is engaged with your page in the last 365 days. So anyone who is engaged on any level with your page. Number three, one of our most efficient and effective ways for growing our database is lead ads, or what Facebook now calls instant form ads. You can build an audience, a retargeting bucket of anyone who has clicked on those over the last, I believe 90 days is the max on that. Okay. So if you have an ad running that is offering a list of all the new construction homes available in your market. So I'll give you a tangible strategy, because this is something that we have and continue to do. You offer what I just mentioned, get a list of all new construction homes available right here in Cumberland County right now. Anyone who clicks on that ad, I can then put a message back in front of them. It might be a video, or it might be another direct response style of campaign where I'm offering something else that relates to that. For example, here are 10 mistakes to avoid when buying a new home. Okay, so you're taking someone from cold and moving them along the path to becoming a client. Okay. Number four, the fourth bucket is if you're using videos on Instagram and Facebook, you can build buckets around people who have watched those videos. And there are different criteria you can use. You could have anyone who's watched 3 seconds or more. You can have, you can build a bucket only of people who have watched an entire video or even videos, and anything in between. You can build buckets of people that have watched 50% of a video, 75% of a video, 25% of a video. Getting into the nitty-gritty here, the point is you can use video content to build a targeted audience and then put a campaign back in front of them. Number five, all website traffic. And that's where installing the pixel and or tags comes back. You have to have that on your website or web pages before you can then retarget those folks. And then lastly, I included on there fans of your page. Okay, that's a little bit different than folks who have engaged, right? People have engaged, they may not have liked your page or become a fan of your page. Okay, so if you have 100 fans or 500 fans or 1,000 fans of your page, people who like your page, you can run campaigns just to those people. Questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas at this point? We'll keep it moving along. I think the easiest way to understand retargeting and the types of campaigns you should run is basically two types of campaigns. Number one, I would call BA, brand awareness. And if you think about like the typical branding style messages where the most important objective is simply making the impression. Okay, you're making an impression. You're reminding these audiences that you can help them with their real estate needs, whether buying or selling or both, or investing. Okay, maybe mortgage if you're in mortgage, right? Testimonials are great for this. Okay, if you have video testimonials from your client, phenomenal. If not, if you have Google reviews or Zillow reviews or reviews on some other platform, you can use those, and I'm going to show you examples of what those might look like. You can use those as great brand awareness style retargeting campaigns or retargeting marketing collateral. The other type of campaigns are what I would call more direct response. They're more direct. They've got a specific call to action. It could be a report. The call to action could be for them to schedule an appointment. It could be for them to request a showing, and that's kind of like an appointment, but you can vary the style of appointment. It could be for them to schedule a strategy session, a first-time home buyer strategy session. It could be for them to schedule a home selling strategy session. An idea that I didn't include on here that is a great retargeting direct response offer is if you are doing a home buying or home selling workshop, whether it is in person or virtual. That works great as a retargeting ad. Okay, you're taking folks that have already engaged on some level. They may already be in your database. They may not. It may be that they just clicked on a lead ad or they've clicked over to your website. It may be that they just watched some of a video. You can then put something else in front of them to elicit a response. And the nice thing with these type of retargeting campaigns is if I have someone who they opted in for our Cumberland County new construction list, okay, they opted in one time, that there's a level of intent there, right? Or at least curiosity. If that person then also opts in for our report for 10 mistakes to avoid when buying a new construction home, and they also opt in for a home buying workshop, that person is probably pretty intent on buying a new home. That person is someone who has, through their behaviors, indicated that I might want to follow up with them personally. I might want to pick up the phone and call them. I might want to send them a personal text message. I might want to send them a video text message or a video email or do all of the above. They've indicated through their behaviors and actions that they're more intent than the person that simply opted in for the list or simply watched some of a video or simply liked the page. Hopefully that makes sense. Here are, I'm going to go through the screenshots and then I'm going to click on some of these links to show you what some of these look like practically speaking. These images here are the example images for Google display ads. Google display ads. You can do video. You can use your logo. You can use your professional headshot. And you get a little bit of text to play with, right? Need a real estate agent, looking for a great real estate agent, looking for a great real estate agent in Central PA, things of that nature. And you can send them, when someone clicks, you can send them back to whatever page you want. You can send them back to your home page, which I don't recommend. I would send them back to something that has a call to action, right? Hey, thanks for coming back to check out our site again. If or when you're ready, you can go ahead and schedule a time for us to chat. The link is below. Something like that, something simple like that, okay? So those are examples of Google display ads. By the way, I'll say it again. If you're interested, get back to whoever invited you. We have detailed instructions on how to do all of this, right? If you're a DIYer and want to do it yourself, or if you'd like help with doing this, you should chat about partnering with us. Get back to whoever invited you and chat about that. Here are examples of a YouTube video retargeting ad. And this video is a short video. It's less than 30 seconds, strategically, by the way, strategically, because unless they click, I'm sorry, actually, these are essentially free views because the video is less than 30 seconds. But the video is simply thanking them for visiting our website and letting them know if and when they're ready, they can call or text the number or click the link on the screen. So those are, on Google and YouTube. Let's take a look at some of, and I think the first one here is an example of using testimonials, if I remember correctly. Hopefully this loads up quick enough. And as we're doing that here, what do your retargeting ads run? Matt, do you mean cost? Okay, so the way you can do whatever you want. You can do as little as $1 a day. So let's say you decided you want to invest $5 a day. That's $150 per month. That's, what's the math on that? That's $900 per year. If you think about that like it's an insurance policy, it's a pretty cheap insurance policy if and only if it saves one or more transactions, right? If it retains one or more potentially lost transactions, that's a pretty good insurance policy. How would you break that up? This is a great question. Here's how I would break it up. I would spend $1 a day on Google display ads, $1 per day on Google display ads. I would spend $1 per day on YouTube video ads, and I would spend $3 per day on Facebook ads. Now, if you have and want to do more, you certainly can, but that's how I would break up 5. Now, let's say you don't even have a way, like you don't have anything set up for Google and YouTube yet. Well, then you could spend $1, $2, or $3 on Facebook, okay? Because if you've got a database, you all can start retargeting today. You can take that, you can export that database, you can import it as a custom audience on Facebook, and you can start running an ad like this one, which simply says, looking for a great real estate agent in Central PA, let's chat. Simple and direct. This is a video that Facebook put together, but you can do it with static images as well. They are literally just screenshots of Google reviews. It's literally just screenshots of Google reviews. Letting other people make the case for me or for you why they should do business with you. Very simple. I'll bring up another one. That was a great question, Matt. Thank you. There are more here. I don't want to. Chuck or Chucky, I don't know what you prefer. But could you create a good living using these bucket lists to create referrals from other agents. I'm a broker in California and travel often to other states where past clients moved. Could it be feasible to create leads in these other states, for example, Texas, and create a decent income? I'm also an MLO and could get inquiries as a loan agent since I can't get. Absolutely. And I would love to, I don't know if it was me who invited you here, but get back to whoever invited you, schedule a time to chat and brainstorm how that might look for you. I would say that your scenario is very specific and unique and not necessarily one shared by the majority of folks on here. So I would, whether it was me who invited you or someone else, I would love to chat. And Eric, who do we contact if you invited me, you or your staff? Either one. You can reply to whatever or just email mike@growwithjosh.com. mike@growwithjosh.com. 12 by 150 is 180. Thank you. Or is 1800. Thank you, Harry. Doing math live on Zoom. Never a good idea. So nonetheless, okay, that's still, that's still relatively affordable insurance, potentially. But once again, you could literally, for $1 a day, $1 a day, $365 would be better than nothing. Okay, $1 a day, one ad or group of ads on Facebook to your database. Okay, that is that's still worth it for sure.
I look at it like, you pay a 20-30% referral for one lead. Like, think of how much that costs. That's just for one. Here you're nurturing however big your list is. It's amazing.
Yep. The thing that is difficult with this is, depending on the scenario and the type of retargeting ads you're running, you may not be able to specifically attribute an ad to a client. In other words, this will be a piece of the puzzle that led someone to become your client. This alone is not going to be the only reason that someone becomes your client, because you have to have done something to generate the audience to retarget to. So at a minimum, you would have had to have done something already to establish that awareness of you as an agent, right? So, that's the thing where it's a little hard to directly attribute. The nice thing is our commissions in real estate are pretty hefty, right? And so, one additional settlement or client or transaction that you wouldn't otherwise had could be pretty significant. And I would make the case that if you are active and you are growing these audience buckets on an ongoing basis, it will likely be significantly more than just one in a year's time. But again, it will be one where the retargeting played a role. It wasn't the only reason why those folks, became your client. Nadia, what you're showing us now, are these Facebook ads, Facebook video ads, or what? Yes, they are Facebook and they are video, right? But it could be static images as well. There's lots of different ways. The one I've got on the screen here, this is a video that I've run on Facebook and on YouTube and on Google Display. It is can I get it to play?
Hey, this is Josh Schoenly with eXp Realty, and if you're looking for a real estate agent in Harrisburg or Hershey, Mechanicsburg, Carlisle, basically anywhere in Cumberland, Dauphin, Perry, or Northern York County, my team and I would love the opportunity to work with you. We offer a number of different unique and valuable services, whether you're looking to buy or sell a property. So all you have to do is put your information below or call or text the number on the screen, and we'd be happy to chat, find out about what you're looking to do, and see if we can be of service to you. We'll let you know your best options and what.
You can all have access where you can see that, go through that, etc. And I don't know how well the audio, but it's a 1-minute video, just making a case for why they should schedule a time for us to chat. Okay. Doesn't have to be video. It does not have to be video. In fact, I thought one of these was static images of Google reviews, which actually that first one that I showed it was just, I hit a button on Facebook to turn it into a little video, I forget what they call it, video slideshow. That's what they call it, a video slideshow. So it wasn't like I made that video. I just uploaded the images, hit a couple of buttons in Facebook, and Facebook turned it into a video, right? So other questions. There was something good here. So Dick Carr said, I saw one of your EXP display ads last night on CNN. That's pretty powerful positioning, right? You've got somebody, you've generated a seller lead. They requested a free home valuation, but they're, 3, 6, 9 months out. And during those 3, 6 to 9 months, every day or every week when they go to, like, for example, for me, our local newspaper is PennLive.com. Every day they go on Penn Live, or every, a couple times a week they go on Penn Live, and they see me. It's impression after impression after impression. And then when they finally hit the tipping point and they're like, hey, Susie, it's, I think we really should probably sell. I'm sick of this weather in the winter. Let's move south. Let's call that Josh guy that's always on the Penn Live, sidebar or whatever, right? Like it's constant, like, impressions. And though I'm not a huge proponent of leading with that type of marketing because it's so hard to quantify the value, as retargeting, it's extremely effective and extremely affordable per impression. I guess this was another video. But again, this could, instead of the video, this could literally just be a static image. It could be your a professional headshot. That's all it needs to be. You're just trying to make that impression. Let's see here. It's all about I see you everywhere. 100%, Harry. Susan, interest rates have soared in Canada. So hard to generate any leads right now. I could not disagree more, Susan. I think it's personally, it's easier than ever. And I know we're not in Canada, but the same thing's happening here in the States. So I get back to whoever invited you. We can certainly help. I actually have seen increased activity. I think because of less noise and less competition since those things have happened. What are you guys using to create your ad overlays? Canva ? Everything that I've shown you so far, Ryan, is either a video that I shot on my phone or using the built-in Facebook functionality. The display ads, though, is something that you might use Canva for, because there are certain dimensions that the Google display ads have to be. And Canva is a great resource for that. Canva is something that we use often here in our personal production and our even in our coaching and so forth. I want to make sure. Oh, this was there was one other example I wanted to show you. Oh, this is so I'm gonna this is gonna be the last thing for now that I'll share on the screen, and then we'll just go to open conversation. There's more questions and comments coming in, which is great. Keep them coming. This is an example of a great sort of middle of the funnel or direct response retargeting ad that you can use that would indicate intent. So the example would be someone requested a free home valuation. And for everyone who has requested a free home valuation or every existing seller lead in your database, you then put this offer back in front of them, which is 12 mistakes to avoid when selling their home. If this ever loads up for us here, then okay, James requested a free home valuation 3 weeks ago, and now he just requested this report with 12 tips to avoid or 12 mistakes to avoid when selling your home. I might want to pick up the phone and follow up with James, or I might want to send James a personal video message by text and email, right? That person has taken more actions or has displayed behaviors that would indicate a little bit more intent than just someone who clicked for their home valuation and only entered their address, let's say. Let's see here. Too bad your text in your video is covering your mouth. I mean, again, not the kind of stuff that I spend a whole lot of time worrying about, and not the kind of stuff that will make that much of a difference. Done is better than perfect. Justin, thanks for the kind words. Nadia, do you have to specify where your retargeting ads go? Example, did you put yourself on CNN? So Nadia, that example referred to there is a Google display ad. And I do think you can select where they show and don't show. I don't do that. The way I do it is I've got this audience of people that I can show my display ads to, and I'm going to show these display ads to anyone. That entire audience, wherever Google has basically the way this is getting technical, you don't have to know this, but basically CNN has has done the work to allow Google display ads on their site. That's how they're part of the Google display ad network, which you have to opt into, basically, or you have to register and put code on your site. So there are lots of websites that you would never show up on because, I don't know, the local coffee shop isn't setting up the Google display ad network on their website, right? But a lot of major news outlets and things of that nature do put those on, and that creates some powerful positioning for you if that's where you're showing up for you. How has the testimonial video done for you? Again, Isabel, it's very hard to quantify and say X led to Y. If you've got those, I would put them in front of anyone you can put into those 6 audience buckets, because having people make the case for you why they should do business with you and your team is better than you making the case for why they should do business with you and your team. So $1 a day, put those in front of folks. It's not going to hurt. That much is certain. Thank you. I meant, how did you put your phone number, banner, and stuff on the video? Oh, that's a good question. Canva is a great option. CapCut is a phone app that you can do it with videos on your phone. CapCut, CapCut. It's a free app. You can do it in iMovie on your phone. I've done it with some desktop or some laptop platforms as well. That video is kind of old. I don't remember exactly how I did it in that video. But there are several possible ways you can do it for sure. Do you have a system to target probates, divorce, etc.? Sort of. Get back to whoever invited you. That's a topic for a different day. And the answer is sort of. It depends on your market, the data available, etc. I would also say it depends on what your approach is going to be with them. My thought. Oh, good. Yeah, and Pete had a follow up in there on that. Can you over target remarketing folks, or is it okay to run several retarget ads each month to the same audiences? That's a good question. And so this is getting into some advanced thoughts and strategies. For example, you can set a frequency cap on your ads. In other words, you can say, I only want the people in my audience to see this ad 1 time a week, 3 times a week, 5 times a week, 10 times a month, etc. I don't know that I can tell you the perfect formula for that, right? I don't have the answer for what is the right amount. I think that's something that you have to figure out through trial and error and actually doing it. You can see, Facebook will tell you like the frequency that things are being shown and things of that nature. I would also say that particularly on Facebook and Instagram, I do think you have to freshen those up every so often. I do think it makes sense, whether it be quarterly or seasonally, that you mix those up. For example, the one video I showed you, I very clearly recorded that video when it was warmer. And it's not a huge deal, but like if it's snow on the ground for the entire month of January, you know, that's going to be kind of confusing if that shows up. So maybe I make one where I'm out and it's a beautiful winter wonderland, or maybe I just do other ads, during that time, more direct response ads, reports, things of that nature. So I guess the bigger point would be, you should be, once you implement these, you should be reviewing them at worst quarterly or seasonally, and at best I would say once a month, maybe even checking in very, very quickly once a week, just to see how they're doing. Are they still getting impressions? Is the frequency getting higher, which means maybe I need to mix up and put some different ads? Or do I need to add more people into the buckets? In other words, do I need to put more people into the top of the funnel that I can retarget to, right? That I can be putting these ads and marketing messages in front of? That's a great question, John. Thank you for that. Did I miss any questions? Does anybody want to open their line and ask anything specific that would be, easier to ask with their line open? Is there anything? And one thing I didn't ask was, who here has either tried or currently have retargeting ads running for their real estate business? Is there many, Pete? Good. A few. I do think, I think at a minimum, having a buck a day, even if you only have a database of a couple of hundred, let's say, or audience buckets of a couple of hundred, I think it is well worth it to figure it out and get some help figuring it out. I mentioned a couple of resources. Get back to whoever invited you. We'll give you that doc. We have some additional bonus resources that we'll make available for you. And this is the kind of stuff that we help folks in our organization actually implement, if you want some direct help with that.
Hey, Josh.
Yes.
If I may.
Yeah.
Something that I was trying to look into to see if it could be done for retargeting. Instead of like one ad, like $1 a day, put under one campaign, like maybe 5 different videos of sorts with $1 or $2 and have Facebook rotate them through. So there's a cost factor there.
That is a great idea in theory. The only problem with that is Facebook the only way to ensure that those are getting rotated equally is each one has to be its own ad set with $1 assigned to it. If you put them all in one bucket, what happens is 1 or 2 of them get shown all the time, and 2, 3, or 4 of them get showed very, very infrequently. It's just an unfortunate.
But is that a more effective way, because Facebook is the knows all, and what's in their AI?
My experience is no, because they will make those assumptions based upon very little data sets. In other words, they will quickly assign this one as the quote unquote winner, and it may not be the winning video, as far as like, if there were one that if you have 5 and there's one that you absolutely want that audience to see, that one may be the one that never gets seen. So I'm not saying you shouldn't try it. And if you're on a limited budget, doing that would be better than doing nothing. But just understand that if you do that, you will likely have 2, 3, or 4 of them that are rarely shown to the audience.
And I guess as I'm
A
talking
better
out,
idea, Dick, a better idea might be you show one for a month and a different one month 2 and a different one month 3. If it was if the limiting factor was I've got $1 to spend, you might do it that way. Or it could be $1, one where it's every 3 weeks. And that would literally require you to manually click 2 buttons in Facebook. I'm just trying to, brainstorm a mastermind here. I'm not saying that would be the best way. That is another way that you could approach it.
and talking out loud about it too, I guess part of the purpose of it is to be ubiquitous and be everywhere. So when they think of a realtor, they think of you. So having it separate is good that way. And I know $1 a day, I know it doesn't sound like much and everything, but when I'm doing the regular, like it's street text ads for $9 a day or whatever it is, and you're doing this, it does add up over time. If you've got 5 or 6, 7 different retargeting ads at a given time or whatever. So that's what.
Yeah, no, I agree. I what you're saying makes a ton of sense. The hardest part about this is there's no one universal blanket answer. So for example, Susan asked, what should my budget be for retargeting ads? The answer is, I don't know, because I don't know. And Susan, feel free to chime in. How large is your existing database? How big are the buckets that you've got of the different audiences that we've mentioned? What are your goals transaction wise and gross income or gross commission income wise for 2023, right? There are so many factors that are at play here. I would say that the minimum you should do is $1 a day, but the maximum could be, I don't know, it could be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, $100 a day, depending on how big you're going, right? Do you have a huge team and you're doing hundreds of transactions? Or you are a solo agent and you're trying to do 1 or 2 a month? There are so many pieces to the pie here, which is why, it might make sense for you to get back to who invited you, schedule a time to chat and create a plan based upon your specific situation and scenario. Brandy says she tried in the past, couldn't get it to work. Well, Brandy, let us know. We're happy to help. If I have a larger database, does that mean my budget should be larger? Most are cold contacts. I would say those words are relative. So what does larger mean? Or is it hundreds? Is it thousands? Is it tens of thousands? She also said most are cold contacts. So if it were me, the larger, the majority of my budget would go toward direct response to warm them up even more. In other words, it might be a video offering the report that we've got with 10 mistakes to avoid when buying a new home. So the video creates the connection and the impression with me, the person, and also they can opt in to get that report, which tells me that way I have multiple ways to judge and multiple ways to warm them up. Will we get a step-by-step guide for this? Yes, Brandy. Just get back to whoever invited you. If it was me, you can email mike@growwithjosh.com. And we've got tutorials, we've got step-by-step instructions, guides, etc. Ryan, will I be sharing the Google Doc? Yes, absolutely. I'll share it in the chat right now. But we've got more resources that we put together for folks who are interested as well. But let me share that in the chat. I don't know why I didn't do that at the beginning. I should have. I just forgot. Let's see here. Other questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas? Well, we're right at an hour. Mark asked, what is your ROI? I'll go back to saying again, I don't know. This is something that it is nearly impossible to specifically say, attribute this to this, because there are so many factors at play that make the direct attribution nearly impossible. It is, was it last week? Did we talk about Smart Alto last week at some point? Maybe. Well, Smart Alto is a text-based ISA company that I use and recommend. You can schedule a free demo at growwithjosh.com/Smart Alto, ALTO. It is another example of something that is, for me, it's a cost of doing business. In other words, their job is to get appointments on my calendar. In November, they got me 20. Okay, they got me 20 phone appointments. I can directly attribute, okay, I got those 20, but how did that come about? Well, those 20 appointments, they just got, they just took the ball from, right? Like, what's the football analogy, right? Like, I used a marketing campaign to snap the ball to the quarterback and get it to whoever out in space, and then that person took it the rest of the way, right? So they didn't generate the leads, but they stepped in and took the lead from interested to an appointment on my calendar. And the reason why I share that is this is similar to that. It's almost impossible to directly attribute that. And yet, in my opinion and experience, for all of you, it should be a cost of doing business. Whether that cost is $1 a day or $5 a day or $10 a day, that's what you have to figure out based upon your targets, how many transactions you're trying to do per month, per quarter, per year, what existing assets you have as far as audiences and database, etc. There's no perfect, one size fits all answer to that. So Winifred, thanks for the kind words. She bounced out for an appointment. Any other final questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas? And while we're waiting for that, some housekeeping items for my organization and for all those attending. Once again, get back to whoever invited you for bonus material, resources, etc. We will also, what we do every week for these sessions is we take the recording and we put it in a free members area for folks who join us for these. It's completely free. You do have to create a little login, but it's completely free. And then you have lifetime access to those. That's number one. Housekeeping items for my folks. Tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern is our Texting Tuesday, live on my YouTube channel, Josh Schoenly Coaching. 12:30 Eastern tomorrow is our big group coaching. Joseph Limo is presenting. I'm actually pretty fired up. They did a good job of teasing it. And Joseph's phenomenal, so I would assume it's going to be quite good. We'll be back here on Wednesday for our huddle at 11 a.m. Eastern, and Thursday, same time. And then we've got our Pat Hayes Freedom Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, Friday morning, and Larry White's Wealth Building Mastermind at 11 a.m. Eastern on Friday as well. All right, all. Thanks so much for getting your week started here with us. I hope you got value from this. Most importantly, I hope you take the information and do something with it, right? Implement, take action, ask for help if or as needed. And I hope you all make it a wonderful week. Oh, one thing I want to get ahead of for my organization. One last thing. I almost wrapped up. There will be no huddles or Monday Marketing Mastermind the week of December 26th. We're going to take that. We're going to all recharge, regroup, and then we'll come back so that we have them this week and next week, then nothing the week of the 26th. And then we'll be back at it January 2nd. All right. Thank you all. Make it a great week, and hopefully chat again soon.